Close your eyes for a moment and picture the most unforgettable American car you ever saw on screen. Maybe it was roaring down a highway at sunset, its hood stretching endlessly ahead, its stance low and confident, its engine note echoing rebellion. For many people, that car carried a Pontiac badge, a Firebird, a Trans Am, a GTO, cars that didn't just move people, but made statements about who they were and what they dreamed of becoming. Now open your eyes and face a strange reality. Pontiac, once one of America's most popular and emotionally powerful car brands, vanished quietly in 2010. No grand farewell. No final halo model. Just silence, a name erased from showroom signs almost overnight. If you or someone close to you ever owned a Pontiac, take a second and remember it. That memory is exactly why this story still matters. Because Pontiac did not disappear due to lack of passion from drivers. It disappeared because its identity was slowly drained from the inside. Pontiac's roots stretch back further than most people realize. Before the name ever appeared on a hood ornament, there was a struggling early automaker called Oakland Motor Car Company. Founded in the early 1900s, Oakland tried to survive in a brutally competitive industry where dozens of small manufacturers rose and collapsed each year. When General Motors acquired Oakland, it was simply another piece in a growing corporate puzzle. But within that puzzle, something unexpected formed. In 1926, GM introduced Pontiac as a companion brand. It was designed to sit above Chevrolet, offering slightly more power, presence, and confidence without crossing into luxury pricing. What happened next shocked everyone. Pontiac didn't just succeed, it exploded. Within only a few years, Pontiac outsold Oakland so decisively that GM made an unprecedented move. Oakland was phased out, and Pontiac took its place. A sub-brand became the main act. That alone should tell you how strong Pontiac's early appeal was. From the beginning, Pontiac understood a very specific type of beer. Not wealthy elites, not bargain hunters. Pontiac spoke to the American middle class that wanted more than transportation. These were buyers who worked hard, lived practical lives, but still wanted excitement when they turned the key. Pontiac delivered that excitement not through luxury materials or flashy excess, but through feel. Engines that pulled harder than expected, steering that felt direct and alive, acceleration that surprised passengers. Pontiac wasn't about showing off wealth. It was about delivering emotion at a price people could reach. That emotional focus made Pontiac different inside General Motors. While other divisions followed strict rules, Pontiac constantly pushed against internal limits. Engineers asked how much performance they could extract without raising costs too high. Designers focused on stance and aggression rather than ornamentation. That rebellious energy reached its peak in the 1960s during a cultural shift that reshaped America itself. Young buyers wanted freedom, individuality, and speed. Pontiac saw it before corporate leadership fully understood it. One man became central to that moment, John DeLorean. Within GM's rigid structure, mid-sized cars were not supposed to carry large engines. But DeLorean saw an opportunity hidden in plain sight. What if a relatively affordable car carried serious power? The result was the Pontiac GTO, a mid-sized platform paired with a massive V8. It wasn't approved in spirit, only in loopholes. But when it hit the streets, it changed everything. The GTO didn't whisper performance, it announced it. Long hood, aggressive grille, muscular proportions. Underneath, a thunderous V8 that delivered raw, unapologetic acceleration. This wasn't refinement, this was attitude. Drivers didn't just drive the GTO, they experienced it. The sound, the vibration, the feeling of mechanical force responding instantly to their right foot. It felt honest, mechanical, alive. Sales proved the point. Pontiac surged to heights few brands ever reach. By the end of the 1960s, Pontiac ranked among the most powerful forces in the American auto market. It wasn't just successful, it was culturally dominant. This era defined Pontiac's soul. Performance over polish, Emotion over conformity. The brand became a symbol of rebellion that still resonates today. But history rarely allows peaks to last. The 1970s arrived with forces Pontiac couldn't control. Oil crises changed buying behavior overnight. Fuel prices soared. Insurance costs punished high-performance cars. Emissions regulations strangled engine output. Detroit panicked. And General Motors responded with efficiency-focused decisions that seemed logical on paper but proved disastrous for identity-driven brands like Pontiac. The solution was platform sharing, one engineering foundation, multiple brands, different badges. At first, it appeared harmless, but over time, Pontiac's distinct character began to fade. Cars wearing Pontiac badges increasingly felt similar to cheaper alternatives within GM's own lineup. Customers noticed. They felt it in the engines, in the steering, in the overall experience. The excitement that once defined Pontiac became harder to find. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Pontiac vehicles were often mechanically indistinguishable from their Chevrolet counterparts. Same platforms, same engines, same proportions, only the badge differed. For loyal buyers, this felt like betrayal. Pontiac had promised more feeling, more engagement, more reason to choose it. When that promise vanished, trust eroded. Badge engineering didn't kill Pontiac instantly, it weakened it slowly, like removing the backbone from a body while expecting it to stand. By the time the 2000s arrived, Pontiac faced a crisis deeper than declining sales. It no longer had a clear answer to who it was. Then came one of the most infamous decisions in American automotive history. The Pontiac Aztek. On paper, it made sense. A lifestyle-focused vehicle aimed at younger, active buyers, flexible interior, practical features, even camping accessories. But cars aren't purchased on paper. Design matters, identity matters, and the Aztek's design communicated confusion, not confidence. It didn't feel rebellious, it didn't feel powerful. It didn't feel like Pontiac. To many enthusiasts, the Aztek symbolized surrender, proof that Pontiac no longer knew how to excite drivers. Realizing the mistake, GM attempted a late rescue by returning to performance roots. Australian-built rear-wheel drive sedans and coupes were brought to the U.S. under Pontiac badges. The revived GTO delivered serious power. The G8 offered balance and sophistication. Enthusiasts praised them. Journalists applauded their driving dynamics. But praise doesn't equal survival. The market had shifted. SUVs dominated. Fuel efficiency mattered. Pontiac lacked the time, budget, and trust to rebuild fully. When General Motors entered bankruptcy in 2009, difficult decisions followed. Brands were evaluated not by nostalgia, but by global profitability. Pontiac failed that test. Buick survived because of China. Pontiac had no such global lifeline, and so, in 2010, Pontiac ended quietly. No final statement, no closing chapter, just an empty space where a legendary badge once lived. Pontiac's death wasn't caused by one bad car or one bad decade. It was caused by losing clarity of purpose, by trying to be everything instead of remaining something specific. Pontiac once thrived because it knew exactly who it was. A brand for drivers who wanted excitement without elitism, power without pretension, emotion without apology. When that identity faded, so did the reason for Pontiac to exist. This is why Pontiac's story still matters, because it's not just about cars. It's about what happens when passion is replaced by spreadsheets, and identity is sacrificed for efficiency. If this story brought back memories, or made you see Pontiac differently, take a moment to support the channel. These stories deserve to be remembered. And the next time you hear the sound of a classic V8 echoing down a road, remember that for decades, Pontiac made that sound feel like freedom.